I started coming to this part of town in the mid-90s. Then I came here to set up Trampoline Systems, my software business in 2003.
What was it like in the mid-90s? If you could just take us back to 95 or 96, like walking around, what would you see?
So, if you just look around now and then mentally erase all of the new buildings, and then look at all the tatty stuff that's here, and just make it about 10 times more tatty than that, then...
And put some vacancies in there.
Yeah.
20, 30% vacancy.
It was all, but already, by the mid-90s, was this very, very distinct focal point for innovation. And it wasn't anything to do with technology at that point. But it had just achieved this gravitational pull during the 1980s and the first half of the 90s that created this energy around the visual arts, around fashion, around product design. Those were really the three communities that seemed to be most fertile here. And there was a lot of experimentation with space and with the built environment. So, for instance, as soon as there were enough artists who had kind of taken cheap warehouse spaces here, they wanted somewhere to go and drink, obviously, because they didn't want to go to the regular old boozer. They wanted somewhere that was a bit more for them, but more in keeping with their values and aesthetics. And I do think that a lot of what unfolded later with workspaces like the Trampery, it was really started by some of those people in the 90s. Actually, going back even further, in 1984, an amazing man called Richard Boot opened the Strong Rooms. It was the first recording studios in Shoreditch. It's still going strong, just off Curtain Road.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know it was a recording studio before. I just thought it was a pub.
You know it as a bar.
Yeah.
But that's very significant. Because from the beginning, his whole conception for how that recording studio was going to work was it was about a community. It's so much a forerunner of what we've tried to do with the Trampery. So the way that he decorated, it's crazily decorated and painted by some quite famous people, and the way he furnished it and the social spaces that he included. And then he opened a bar as part of the Strong Rooms, originally not really thinking that people from outside were going to be interested.
This week on Silicon Reel, we have Saranga Chandratalake, partner at Balderton Capital.
If you want to make an impact, then one of the smartest, easiest, most efficient ways of doing that is to start a company. Increasingly, we are all going to have to be entrepreneurial. Forget a job for life. People don't have a job for a decade or even a job for 5 years these days. You have to have such passionate belief in the thing you're doing in order to be a really effective entrepreneur. An IPO is not a goal or an exit. An IPO is simply another step. The entrepreneurial challenge is knowing when to change and when not to.
Silicon Reel presents Saranga Chandratalake, Balderton Capital.
Seek to perfect your game at every level in every way.